Lebron Raymone James Senior, Stephen A. Smith, two of the biggest names in sports entertainment today, are currently locked in a vicious battle. And with blackmail, ego, and the masculine need to protect one's family on the line.
When we're talking about the Lakers, that's about LeBron, not Bronny. Bronny wanted to get drafted by any NBA team. He wanted to hear his name. It was LeBron that wanted him as his teammate. What I'm saying to you is, if LeBron had rolled up on me, all he had to say, because I said this to Rich Paul when Rich Paul called me, if you had called me and said, Bron pissed off, he wants to see you man to man, I said, what would I have done? Rich Paul said, you'd have hung up the phone and you'd flew to LA. I said, thank you. Rather than come up to me at courtside, all you had to do was say, yo, I need you to see you after the game. You didn't do that. You said, you with my son. No, I wasn't. I was talking about you. It wasn't about your son. I know he's number 55. I know he got work to do. Yeah. I believe that he got the potential. And by the way, I'm rooting for him. I ain't rooting against nobody. But I was talking about your You did this. Number one, we know I'm right. Number two, we know the perspective that I'm coming from is real and it's authentic. Number three, he set this up. Number four, all you had to do was tell me. Respectfully, excuse my language, that's
Things might end up getting even worse than we could ever even imagine. A little history. The whole gist goes back to late last year. On the night of October 22nd, 2024, LeBron James and his son, Bronny James, played together. Not on their family basketball court, but in an actual NBA game, making them the first father-son duo to ever play together in an NBA game. Now, let's help you deep that stat properly. The NBA's been around for 77 years, and this was the first time something like that was happening. Of course, that was a really cool full-circle moment and all, and many NBA fans applauded it. I mean, what else would they do? They're all LeBron fans before even being fans of the sport. Jokes apart, it was a really heartwarming event, and everyone who was anyone thought it was a really great idea. It didn't matter that they only played less than 3 minutes together, with Bronny missing both of his first 2 shots in the NBA. The fulfillment of this part plan, part pipe dream was all that mattered. And like we said earlier, everyone who was anyone was pretty impressed by it. Even belligerent sports journalist Stephen A. Smith, who said he stood to applaud the moment from the Crypto.com arena stands where the game was played. All cool, right? Well, not quite. You see, Stephen Smith never really liked LeBron and only tolerated him since he was one of the best in the game. However, things came to a head on March 7th, 2023, when LeBron tweeted, "Man, Bronny definitely better than some of these cats I've been watching on League Pass today. Shit lightweight, hilarious, ha 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 ha." Smith found the statement disrespectful to the other pro players in the NBA, and his anger only escalated when LeBron announced that he'd only be playing for a team that drafted his son. But he was just one person, and soon, LeBron's team, the Los Angeles Lakers, used the 55th pick to draft Bronny Jr. onto their team. Nepotism. The nepotism allegations were deafening, and guess whose voice was loudest? Smith's. The claims weren't totally baseless either. Yes, he might be okay at being a perimeter defender, but it could be argued that compared to other NBA players, he's still too small, too slow, and can't really shoot as good. Besides, Bronny had had quite an underwhelming first season while playing for the University of South Carolina Trojans, averaging only 4.8 points every game. But his supporters already chalked that off with his surprising recovery from cardiac arrest during a summer workout on USC's campus. James went into cardiac arrest and lost consciousness on July 25th, 2023. USC athletic trainers used life-saving measures, including a defibrillator. He later underwent surgery to correct a congenital heart defect, but at least he'd survived. And the best part of it, he was fit enough to get back to playing basketball. The only issue was always, could he play well enough, though? The answer came on January 28th this year, when the Lakers were playing against the Philadelphia 76ers in a nationally televised game. Lakers head coach J.J. Redick decided to hand Bronny some valuable playing time, but he failed to make anything substantial of it. In his 15 minutes of play, Bronny didn't just score 0 points. He missed all 5 of the shots he took. The Lakers lost, and as you would imagine, Smith had thoughts.
I'm really, really trying to be as respectful as I possibly can be towards LeBron James. One of the top 2 or 3 players in the history of basketball, number 2 in my eyes. A treasure to the game of basketball that we should and will all miss when he is gone. I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad. The first game of the season, opening night, the Griffies in attendance, father-son duo playing in an NBA game for the first time, an absolutely positively wonderful story. And then reality sets in. We love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where you belong.
And just like that, one of basketball's craziest feuds yet had begun. The confrontation. Some 6 weeks later, on March 6th, Smith was in the Crypto.com arena again, this time courtside. The Lakers were in action against the New York Knicks. Just before the fourth quarter, LeBron walked over to Smith and engaged him in a heated conversation. From the look of it, things could have gotten physical very quickly if the chat had gone on for any longer. And even Smith himself got on the First Take podcast a few weeks later to say that had LeBron tried to attack him, he, Smith, would have immediately swung on it. He also said that the things LeBron had said to him weren't things he could repeat on national TV. But you could guess it was something along the lines of, "Don't mess with my son." Oh, and what else? He called LeBron weak for physically accosting him, which makes no sense at all, because why do you want to speak ill of someone and his son, but then suddenly try to play moral police when they confront you about it? But let's be for real, man. A 57-year-old throwing hands with a 6'9" power forward just sounds like a funnily terrible idea. Even LeBron thought so too, when he made an Instagram post trolling Smith after the Lakers win against the Indiana Pacers on Thursday, 27th March. The post was featured an old video of Stephen Smith doing some boxing training, and let's just say he wasn't looking very dangerous. But maybe even more embarrassing was the caption LeBron used, "Hump, hump, hump." Clearly he wasn't intimidated by Smith's one bit. Smith also agreed that had they sparred, LeBron would have probably knocked him down anyway. But he addressed the boxing video too, saying that he was injured at the time it was recorded, and so couldn't be clowned for his sluggish movements in it.
We don't get along. And there's a multitude of reasons why. I've alluded to some of them, but we know what the biggest reason is. I ain't Shannon Sharp. It ain't GOAT status this way. My GOAT is Michael Jordan. 35,000 points, eclipsing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with over 38,000, ultimately 40,000, now 50,000, another all-star appearance, another 50-point game, whatever. Ain't my GOAT. I watch the game. I'm a student of the game. I know a GOAT when I see one. And he is a GOAT of this generation. But all time, it's Michael Jordan. That's who the hell it is.
The GOAT debate. Now we all know Stephen Smith, whatever he lacks in physical jabs, he's always packing double of that with his words. On the First Take, Stephen basically emptied the canister and held nothing back. In the same episode where he called LeBron weak for walking up to him, he also claimed that King James's issue with him wasn't really about Bronny, but something even deeper, much more sinister. According to him, LeBron's dislike for him stems from the fact that he's refused to rate him higher than Michael Jordan. Yup, LeBron thinks he's the basketball GOAT and is mad Stephen A. Smith won't give him that credit. But that's not all he said. In fact, it's not even half of it. The whole podcast episode was about an hour long, and it was just a 60-minute rant about the LeBron situation. He said,
"My issue is with LeBron James. And I just want to say for the record, LeBron James is full of it. And in this particular instance, as it pertains to his son, he is a liar.
So not only does Smith think LeBron's stuck up, but he also thinks he's a liar too.
Continues to lie to the world about what I said and who I was pointing the finger at. To regurgitate an obvious point, when I talked about Bronny James early in the season and I highlighted the fact that at that particular moment in time he simply was not ready, I was calling out LeBron James.
So now, things are getting pretty narrowed down. Smith's issue wasn't exactly with Bronny, but rather with the fact that he just wasn't ready and was being pushed into the team just because of his dad's star power. If his last name had been, say, Johnson, he would most likely not be in the NBA at all. It's almost like the NBA powers that be are pushing more of a media stunt rather than the actual game. At least, that's what Smith thinks. But let's be honest, in today's world, who wouldn't like a little nepotism? In response, LeBron got on ESPN's The Pat McAfee Show to accuse Smith of going on a Taylor Swift tour run and using the confrontation for media attention.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're watching it.
Yep.
We're all seeing it.
Oh yeah,
You're seeing it as well. It's
He literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about it again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the fucking freezer and sit in his chair in his tighty whities on the couch.
For him, it would have been fine if Smith was bashing someone for playing badly. But in this case, the attacks had gotten too personal, and as a father and teammate, he had to step in. The new issue now is LeBron might have just played into Smith's hands. As a media guy, it's sort of an unwritten part of his job description to add some tension into the sport. But with the physical confrontation, it looked like LeBron was trying to intimidate Smith into shutting up. And now Smith's gone on a ranting spree and somehow succeeded in painting himself out to be the victim here. And LeBron, the superstar bully, even after his blatant blunder. Because in one of the rants, he actually accused LeBron of not being at Kobe's memorial service. Although he did correct himself later. He went on to mention that LeBron hadn't attended Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame induction. And honestly, we can't blame him for that, because Bronny had suffered his cardiac arrest episode just the week before. Steven even said LeBron prefers doing podcasts with his white friends over his black friends. The situation just keeps getting messier. Because during his rants, Smith said this, I suggest that he be happy with the things that I haven't brought up. The trade. And now, streets are saying it might have something to do with Luka AD trade. Remember how shocked we all were when that happened, right? Well, if LeBron's been snaking around about all this other stuff, it's quite likely he knew about the trade way before the news got out. But truth is, we don't know anything for sure. LeBron might well just be an innocent man trying to play basketball with his son. Still, one thing's pretty obvious. Bronny just isn't ready yet. And the earlier we all agree on that, LeBron included, the better. But what did you think of all that? Is Stephen Smith wrong to be running his mouth like that, or did LeBron bring this on himself? Let us know in the comments, and do remember to leave a like and subscribe.